Hello everyone, Ron Trotto, TC Computer Consulting, and we are already at tech tip number 6. And today we're covering two-factor authentication and what it is and what it is not. Now, what it is for the people that use it, don't lie, it's a pain in the butt, right? You have to have this other device with you. You got to make sure you have it so you can log in. You left it in the other room. You left it in the car, but guess what? Tough luck. Suck it up, Buttercup, because it's the best thing that you can do to secure your logins. So what is two-factor authentication? Exactly what it sounds like. And it's not just two-factor. There's multi-factor authentication is probably the more proper term for it, but most people call it 2FA now. And really it's username, password, and then from a device, you're going to read off a number, and that number is your second form of authentication. Now, that number changes in time, typically every 45 seconds to a minute nowadays. So every 45 seconds to a minute, that number changes based on some crazy algorithm that's not easily replicated. Actually, damn near impossible to replicate. So if your credentials ever show up on the dark web where you have a username and password, if you have two-factor authentication involved, there's no way that the bad guys are going to be able to get there and log in to your accounts. Now, where it's important to use these things is the obvious pieces: financial accounts, health accounts, health spending accounts, HR, payroll. Any of those systems definitely need to have two-factor authentication. If you are using these systems and you do not have it, ask, because it's very likely that they do have it and you might have just missed it or didn't know what 2FA was. Get on with that program. The providers are going to be more than helpful because cybercrime is extremely costly to them. So it's in their best interest to take care of you. In terms of line of business apps, anything that is internal or core to your business, and anyone who has any type of external login into their business needs to have two-factor authentication in place these days. The next one is probably the biggest one right now, and that's Office 365 logins. They really need to be authenticated with turned on. Two-factor authentication needs to be turned on these accounts. They are the greatest wonder in the world right now, but they are also the easiest way to compromise a business. And there's two reasons for this. Number one is improperly configured Office 365 accounts. That's a topic for another day. And the second is not turning on two-factor authentication on the accounts. See step 1. So very important that that's turned on. If you have Office 365 yourself, just go out and Google it and make sure you turn it on. If you have a provider that takes care of it for you, make sure that they're aware that you want two-factor authentication. Again, it's in their best interest for them to set this up for you. In terms of setting it up, how do you do it? You install an app, you do a barcode, and you are typically good to go. You might have to do a verification step, but again, it's a mature technology. It's been around for quite some time, and it's there to save your bacon. So wherever you can, make sure you use it. Now, what it's not is the end-all, be-all, and there's a very specific case for this, but I have to bring it up because I don't want to give anyone a false sense of I'm completely secure. Now, the one instance where it will not work for you is when you have been compromised on the workstation from which you're accessing these accounts. And it has a lot more to do with the way that the web development of these sites went and works. Basically, what can happen is if the bad guys see that you are logging into, for instance, a financial account, and they're already on your computer and observing everything that you do, at this point in time, once you've authenticated with both your password and second factor authentication, they can grab a little login token that most of the websites issue, and they can take this and they can use it by mimicking where you are in the process and become you. Basically change the credentials, transfer money, whatever you can do they can do, and likely they're going to do it faster. But they're smart, so they're probably going to wait to right before you log off. So, or if you're one of those people that just leaves tabs open or you don't log off, you just close the browser. If you log off, you stop them dead in your tracks. So make sure you do that. Another best practice that we can just kind of ease into the fold here. Because once you kill that token, they can't use it either. So you'll stop them dead in their tracks. But if you don't and you leave it open, you open up the door for them using it. So again, very important to close out your sessions. So hopefully you found this interesting. Hopefully you found it informative. And if you did, please like and share so that we can conquer the bad guys with a whole lot of knowledge. Thanks for your time.